So, hello, I am Charles Lim. I will be presenting the KainSaan application and the admin side. For the sake of the presentation, I am running this on my local server and emulator. The application itself is hosted and can be downloaded and used by anyone and anywhere. So once opening the app, and if it is the first time using the app, the user will be redirected to the login page, which is this. So the user can create an account if he or she doesn't have a account. So for the sake of presentation, I've already created an account, so I'll just log in. So the user will be redirected to the home page. In the home page, you can see the featured food establishments inside the application. You can also see the trending food establishment and also the recommended food establishment. On top, as you can see, there's also a search feature. So you can search for a specific food establishment or a food. So let's try searching for a specific food establishment. So McDo, Chickies, a, and so let's try to search for a food. Say chicken, egg, Big Mac, like that. So moving on to the food spots page. Um, in the food spots page, you can see all the food establishment available in the application with their specific information like name, average price, description, category, type of cuisine, number of views, favorites, parking information, number of visits, and number of reviews. You can also click on the heart button to add it to your favorites. So I will demonstrate this later. And so the other button, which is the comment button, is to expand the details of the food establishment. So here are all the food establishments available in the application. These are test data that I've created earlier or added earlier for the sake of the presentation. So on top, you can see the search, also a search feature, which is also the same in the home page. So here you can see there's a filter. So here you can also add a filter to display food establishment based on your preference. So let's try adding a filter. You can add a specific type of category. Let's try cafe, like changes. So this will retrieve all the cafe type of food establishment in inside the application. So since there's only one, so it retrieves only one. So let's try fast food. So this will retrieve all food establishment that has a category of fast food. And let's try another category. So family style restaurant. So moving on, we can also add a filter for a specific type of cuisine. So let's try Filipino. Filipino. So this returns type of food establishment as a type of cuisine of Filipino or anything that you've inputted. Chinese. Let's try another one like Italian, like there. So you can also input the price range that you want. So let's try 1 to 100. So this will return all food establishment that is below or equal to 100 pesos. So you can also a specific type of rating. So this will return all food establishment that has a rating of 5. There. So let's refresh the page to remove the filter. So let's try to clicking on this comment button, which will expand the food establishment details. So here you can also see the information which is shown earlier. So but here you can see all the reviews made by the users, of the application. And also, you can also add a rating and review. uh, you can add a rating or a review yourself. So I will add a review later once we get further into the application. So here you can also see the menu of the food establishment by clicking on the utensils button. So here you can see the menu. And you can also get the directions of the food establishment by clicking on this blue button or the directions button. I will demonstrate this button later. I will first show the whole application. So moving on to the nearby page. In the nearby page, you can see all the food establishment near you. So you can zoom in and zoom out. And here are the food establishments. So this is your location, which is the blue pin, and the food establishments near you are yellow pins. So as you can see, there are also food establishments that are far from you. So uh, there are three buttons on top. So first, this button is able to get your current location. So let's try getting our current location. So I'm here. So and the second button, and also you notice that the get current location button is gone since we are already in our current location. So the second button is to get the directions of the specific food establishment that you want to navigate to. Then the third button is a filter. Uh, so let's try to demonstrate this filter. So as you can see, there are food establishments that are far from my location. So this is my location, and these are the food establishments that are far, which is Banax and Shakey's. So I'll now demonstrate by adding a distance filter. So let's add a 1 to 10 kilometers filter. This takes a while to load. And as you can see, the map turned kind of yellow because as you can see, if we zoom out, you will now see a circle, which represents the radius, uh, radius of the filter that we added, which is 1 to 10 kilometers. And also, as you can see, that the Banax and Shakey's are not showing because they are further than 10 kilometers. So let's try to refresh this page to remove the filter. Additionally, you can drag your location. So this is our location. You can drag your location to the destination you desire. So let's drag this to close to Banax and Shakey's. Banax and Shakey's there. So as you can see, we can see the food establishments in Manila, QC, and San Juan, etc. So you can also add the filter here. So let's try adding a filter again. Save. Let's wait again. So let's zoom out. So as you can see, Banax and Shake is showing since it is inside our region, inside 10 kilometers or below. And as you can see, the food establishments around Manila, QC, San Juan, etc. are now hidden. So yeah. So let's move on to the notifications page. So here you can see your notifications. We will be going through this once I demonstrate on how to add food establishments and getting the directions of a food establishment. So right now it is a new account, so there will be no notifications to show. So moving on to the settings page. Here you can browse favorites page, previously visited page, and your food establishment page, and about KainSaan, and to log out. So in the favorites page, since this is a new account, there are no food establishments to show. So I will demonstrate on how to add a food establishment. So go into the food spots, let's click on Cafe Sea, let's click on the heart button, and it prompts a message that it was added to our favorites. So let's go to our favorites to check. So you can see that Cafe Sea is added with its rating. So let's try adding again. Let's add Banax, which has a rating of 5. So let's check, and here it was retrieved. So let's move on to the previously visited page. So again, since this is a new account, there are no information to show. We'll get back to this page once we've navigated to a food establishment. So moving on to my food establishments. In here, you can add your food establishment by clicking on the plus button. So I will demonstrate on how to add a food establishment. So um, let's add a food establishment. I'll just input some things. Input the image, description. Then we will drag our location. It's fast food. It's Japanese. Then let's upload the business permit. I don't have a sample business permit, so I'm just gonna use the picture that we've used on top. So let's click on register. So as you can see that it prompts a message that we have a pending request. So and the notifications turned on. So let's check on the notification. So it says that our request to add a food establishment is waiting for a admin approval. And we can also check our email. Let's refresh our email. So as you can see, this is the account that I've used to register the account that we are using right now, which is Angelo M. So it prompts here that thank you for registering your establishment and admin is checking. So let's go to the admin side and approve our request. So let's go to that. So I'm just gonna log in. This is the admin side. So log in and go to the food attachments and pending. And as you can see, Tokyo is now here. So let's click on the I button so we can see the information that we've inputted earlier. So this is the name and the description, the category, type of cuisine, and here's the owner information, which is us. And this is the business permit. And once the admin is satisfied, you can click on approve. Okay, now it's successfully approved. Okay, we can see the approve. Let's check on the second page. Now it's here. So the food establishment is now approved, and we can return to our email. And as you can see that Angelo Lim's establishment is now approved. So let's go back to the application. Let's go to the food spots. Oh wait, let's log out first. Angelo Lim, Angelo. 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, we get a notification that Tokyo has been approved. So let's go to the food spot stuff if it's correct. And you can notice that Tokyo is now available in food spots. So let's go to our My Food Establishment. Now we successfully add a food establishment. Let's now add a food by clicking on this plus utensils button. So let's add a food. So main dish. So we've prompt a message that the food was successfully added to the menu. So let's check on the Tokyo Tokyo expanded information. So as you can see, this was the inputted information that we did earlier. So let's check on the menu. So here's the food that we've inputted. Currently, there is no review since this is a newly added food establishment. So let's add a review. And let's add a review of 5. Let's go that. Then let's try to refresh the page. Oh, wait, let's try to refresh the page. So let's check on Toka Toka. So now the rating is now 5 and we can see the review here, which is masarap siya. So moving on, so let's go back to the My Food Establishment page. You can edit your food establishment anytime you want. You can also add another food. You can also add multiple food establishments by clicking on this button again. But I'm gonna show an account which has a multiple food establishment later. So in order to edit your food establishment, just click on the pencil and you can edit your establishment here. And you must fill out the this form. I'm not gonna show this because it's gonna take some time. And you can also edit your food here, and you can just edit your details here. So that's all for what do you call this? Editing and updating. So I'm gonna navigate to our food establishment. So I'm gonna demonstrate how to navigate to a food establishment. So let's navigate to this food establishment which this account owns. So let's click on the Get Directions button. So point A is our location and point B is the location of the food establishment. So on top you can see the distance and the ETA or the estimated time of arrival and a button. So this button, for the sake of the presentation, this button is currently visible, but it must not be visible. It will only be visible if the what do you call this? If we've successfully arrived to the restaurant. So when we've successfully arrived to the restaurant, this button and this message will appear. So the user can click on yes to confirm that he or she had arrived to the food establishment. And let's click on yes. And you can see that a notification that a user or us visited our food establishment. So since we're using the Angelo M account, which owns the Tokyo Tokyo, we get this notifications, and you can see in the previously visited that we've already that Tokyo Tokyo is added to our previously visited, and we can see also in the food spots tab that the number of visits of Tokyo Tokyo became 1 because a user has successfully visited the food establishment. So I'll try navigating to a different food establishment that we didn't own. So that this account don't own, so that you can see that the food establishment owner gets notified. So I'll be using the nearby page for navigation. So let's go to the nearby. Let's go to wait, this is the get direction. Shakey's get directions. So let's click on arrive. Yes. So we'll get a notification that says we successfully visited the Shakey's establishment. So let's log You can let's check also the previously visited. The checklist is added. So let's log out. Wait. And let's log into the account which owns the Shakey's food establishment. So let's log in, and you can see that Angelo Lim, which the account we used earlier, visited this account's establishment, which is Shakey's. So I will also so this account owns all the food establishment. So as you can see here, you can have multiple food establishment. This is in the My Food Establishment page. So this account owns multiple food establishments. So that's all for the application. So let's move on to the admin. So we've already done. So let's go back to the dashboard page. So dashboard. So here you can see all the total views, registered users, admins, establishments, and total food available inside the KainSaan application. So you can also see here the latest reviews, recent registered users, and so let's go to the manage users page. So here we can see all the users edit their information or delete. So we also have a search feature here. So let's search. It's like that. So let's try editing the testing update. And as you can see, it is edited. So let's move on to the food establishment. So we've tackled this earlier. Now let's go into the approve since there are no pending food establishment. So let's go to the approve. So in here you can also edit, delete, again search, and there are multiple pages available. So here you can see what call this AI button to see the information of the establishment, and you can also click on print to generate a report. So let's click on here, let's click on print. So this will print the owner of the Tokyo food establishment and all the information of the food establishment Tokyo. So let's cancel that. Then moving on to the manage food. Same goes for the managing foods inside the application. You can print, you can edit or delete. So I'm not gonna demonstrate that. So let's go to manage reviews. For the manage reviews, you can only just delete, but you can also see there's also search pages. And for the manage admin, same goes for the manage admin. You can add an admin, you can search, edit or delete. So last that we will be tackling in this presentation is the income or report generator of the application. So there are multiple reports to be generated in the KainSaan. These are the trending food establishment and the most visited food establishment. So there are also reports that can be shown in the food spots tab, which is the number of views. Let's try to add a number of views here. So you can see it's 7. So when we click on the comment button, and you can see it's now 8. So that's how you increment to the number of views. So let's go back. And like we tackled earlier is the number of visits. So Shakey's also has a 1 visit and Tokyo. So since we visited them earlier. So the number of views is the number of user that click on this comment button or the number of people that expanded your food establishment. So this acts as a cost per click advertising that allows owners to advertise their food establishments. And another feature is the thing I showed earlier is which is the number of visits, which is the number of visits. So this allows KainSaan to track how many people visited the food establishment using the application. This can also be can be shown in the printing of reports. So let's say Shakey's. You can see here the number of visits, the number of views. So that's all for for my presentation of the KainSaan application. Thank you and good night.